My 55M, childhood first love, 55F, cheated on me and now is contacting me over 30 years later, and I'm surprised at how I feel. TLDR, childhood friend turned into first love then cheated on me. I had a hard time getting over her, and now I recently got a Facebook message from her and I'm surprised at my own reaction. This is a long one. Thanks in advance for reading. I met Julie when we were both 8 years old. We initially went on a lot of play dates and to each other's birthday parties because our moms, and subsequently our dads, got along really well. Her dad was rich, a president of a technology company. My dad was upper middle class and not hurting for money himself. At this point, Julie had long brown hair. She had these big pale blue eyes that would blast me in my stomach every time our eyes met. My little self had no idea what was going on. In middle school, we were both goth/emo kids and outcasts, RIP Ian Curtis. She had short black hair and was kind of pudgy. I was 6 feet tall skinny guy. I mowed lawns all summer and saved up some money. I bought her a ceramic unicorn when I asked her to go steady with me. I was sure she'd say yes, and she did. Around the end of 7th grade, she decided she wanted to change her style and told me that she was going to change her social circle. She made it clear that I would need to evolve with her or be left behind. So I changed too. By the end of our sophomore year in high school, she had a major glow up. She was physically very fit from swimming. She had grown her hair long and dyed it blonde. I had a glow up myself from orthodontics, lifting weights with the football team, and running track and field. I think I could have played football, but Julie thought that only idiots played football, and I didn't feel strongly about it either way. Julie had guys after her, but she was loyal, or so I thought. She was publicly loyal at least. I later learned that she was going to second base with guys from other schools at house parties, but this was in the future and I was oblivious at the time. I had girls after me too, but Julie would run them off. She'd give them a subtle warning to begin with, and then she'd pretty much eviscerate them socially if they didn't back off. One girl got messed with so bad that she didn't come back to school. I still don't know the details of that. I didn't really want any of them because, quite frankly, Julie was way better looking, and she knew it. The first major trouble I had with her was at senior prom. I was coming out of the restroom and some girls came up to me saying, "I'm so sorry, and what are you going to do?" I asked them what they meant and they told me Julie had slow danced with another guy and kissed him on the dance floor. I confronted her about it and she convinced me it was non-consensual. I started to go look for the guy to beat the piss out of him, but she pulled me back and told me that we were going to leave to go to a hotel. She had arranged a fancy hotel reservation and she told me we were going to go all the way that night. We did. I can verify that she was a virgin when we did it, and so was I. We graduated and went to the same college. I majored in computer science and she majored in art history. I would make fun of her for it. I won a lottery to get a sought-after dorm room. It was a little bigger than a normal dorm room, but what made it so sought after was that it had its own small private bathroom. Julie, of course, lived in a fancy condo very near campus. She insisted on buying brand new hardwood furniture for my room. She got me a fancy desk chair that was surplus from her dad's office, Herman Miller. Darn, I missed that chair. She had always bought clothes for me even though I told her not to. I bought her little gifts too. 3rd year in college, I was studying in the library. I got a call from a friend telling me that he was sorry that Julie and I had broken up and asked me if I wanted to come to a party and that there'd be girls there. I was like, whoa, what the F are you talking about? He told me he saw Julie with some guy at a party making out heavily, second base remember, and that she pulled him out of the party to her car. My friend asked Julie what about OP and she told him we were broken up. We hung up and I took a chance and went to Julie's condo to get to the bottom of it all. I had a key. I went in and loud music was playing. I went back to the bedroom and there they were. The thing that still sticks with me this day was the fact that she had his shirt over his head and her lipstick was smeared on his chest. I yelled WTF? And she stared up at me with a goofy look on her dumb drunken face. I grabbed the nearest breakable thing, which turned out to be the ceramic unicorn I got her, and I whipped it at her makeup table, smashing it. I yelled, "F you, Julie, we are done," and stormed out of there with her calling after me. The next day she called and was apologetic, but explained that she wanted to tell me that we were on a break and it's okay. I didn't know what on a break meant and I thought it meant the same thing as broken up, so I was like, no SHT, we're on a break, and hung up on her. She started dating this guy, who had a reputation as a flat boy. They were apparently in an open relationship and she bought clothes and stuff for him like she did me, and she was seen with other guys, but again with him. I was basically eating my heart out and trying to get the best grades possible. I went out but I didn't have any girlfriends. I just partied occasionally. To cope, I got rid of everything that reminded me of her. I donated all of the furniture and replaced it with thrift store particle board crap. I had to start dressing in thrift store clothes too because I got rid of all the clothes she bought me. It was about half of my wardrobe. I deleted all our photos and threw them away. I told my parents what had happened and they and Julie's parents wisely stayed out of it. I told my parents and friends not to talk about her with me. She was a figment of my imagination. This was when someone told me about her going to second base with guys at parties during high school. Approximately 9 months later, she broke up with Flackboy. The rumor was that he effed a girl in front of a bunch of people in public at a party. She was embarrassed and dumped him. She came to me not long after. It was unexpected to me. When I opened the door, there she was, looking very beautiful with a bright smile on her face and the glued-together unicorn in her hands. I was stunned as she walked in. I totally did not expect her. She asked if I had gotten robbed. All of the stuff she bought me was gone. I told her that if she wanted the furniture she better go to Goodwill and get it quick. She looked hurt. She showed me the unicorn like it was a metaphor for a repaired relationship. I told her it looked like SHT and we were broken up. She explained what on a break meant. I told her idgaff we're broken up. She started crying but I told her to leave. She would then show up at my classes and try to convince me that we were soulmates who were destined to be together. I told her that soulmates don't F other dudes. She told our mutual friends and they started pressuring me to get back with her because she's inconsolable. She sent me notes and letters. Trash. She sent me flowers and candy like I was some insulted 1950s housewife. Trash. Just being around her hurt me physically, so I transferred out at the end of the semester, ghosting her. I probably should have made other arrangements because I had to go to school 2 more years because a bunch of credits didn't transfer. At the new school I was signed up for a bunch of classes I already took and ended up barely passing them because I was in my bed all the time. My roommate, not a friend at the time, just assigned to the same dorm room, got annoyed that I was always there and a little worried at my attitude, so he called the campus police on me. I didn't get in trouble, but I did have to go see a counselor who told me I was having a major depressive episode and PTSD and that Julie had some kind of personality disorder or was a sociopath who had groomed me and manipulated me into dependence on her. I don't know if that's all true, but the Zoloft sure helped. Enjoying the story so far? Don't miss out on more like this. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join our journey for daily adventures into Reddit's most captivating tales. I heard that Julie came looking for me at my parents' home. She kept asking them where I was and if she could contact me. They kept telling her no, but she got more and more belligerent and hysterical with them until Julie's parents told her to stop or they would institutionalize her. I graduated, got a job. Got transferred to Singapore, where I met my now wife. That's a whole other story. I was a passport bro before there were passport brothers apparently. I was 35 when we got married and she was 26. We moved back to the USA and had 3 kids. We're doing great. Fast forward to yesterday. I only use Facebook to occasionally upload family pictures, but mostly post amusing stuff that comes out of my head. For example, I found an entire bowl of cereal in the sink today, so I guess we're Bezos rich now. I got a Facebook message from Julie. It had a photo of the unicorn and in it she apologized for what she did and for hurting me and that she will never get over me. I didn't write back. I would never insult my wife like that. I blocked Julie. But what surprised me was my reaction to it, blinding. Freaking rage. I effing punched the wall, denting the sheetrock, and I was so mad that tears came down my face, gritting my teeth. Major headache. I swear, if Julie were there in front of me, I would have curb-stomped her into the death penalty. I'm not a violent guy. I really am not. I lied to my wife and told her I had to work late, and I went on a long, vigorous walk downtown to get my mind off of it. I couldn't go home like this. Later, I am calm and feel nothing, but my reaction puzzles me. Isn't the opposite of love indifference? I just don't understand how that happened. I guess the solution is more therapy and Zoloft. Update. TLDR, for previous post, I had a childhood friend, Julie, that turned into my girlfriend who cheated on me in college. It broke me at the time, but I got over it eventually, got married, and 30 years later, 21 years married, with 3 kids, I'm doing great. Julie messaged me on Facebook a little over a week ago with a picture of her favorite gift I bought her when we were kids and tells me she never got over me. I became enraged to the point of physically lashing out at my surroundings even though I haven't thought of her in more than 25 years. So, upon recommendations from the comments on my first post, I talked with my wife about Julie. She was aware of Julie before we got married, but I downplayed the effect the breakup had on me. I just told my wife that she cheated on me and I ended it, but not how much it broke me at the time. I showed her my Reddit post and told her about getting the FB message from Julie and what I did. She was concerned and told me that she agreed with most of you that I should go and talk with someone about it. I assured my wife that our 21 years together and 3 kids wasn't a practice run so that I could get back together with Julie, and she laughed. She knows I hate Julie. My wife mentioned something that I should have thought of, that Julie probably emailed my Facebook email address. For clarity, I set up a free email address just for Facebook notification emails. I never check it. In order to log on, I had to reset the password. I did, and there was an email from Julie. I decided to read it after downing a gin and tonic and the crazy train derailed. First of all, keep in mind that the Julie I knew in high school was a beautiful, nice girl, but the Julie I discovered after catching her cheating with another guy was a lying liar who lies. After catching her and subsequently learning that she was going to second base with other dudes behind my back all through high school and hooking up with dudes behind my back in college, I came to the conclusion that I couldn't trust one word that oozed out of that dank hole in the middle of her damn freaking face. So I read her email with extreme skepticism. In her email, she said that after I abandoned her at the end of junior year, she was broken and lost and that her world ended and drama. Her soulmate had abandoned her. She explained that she wanted to experience the sexual freedom that college life had to offer and wanted me to do the same, so she declared that we were on a break. She was hoping for us to come together with what we had learned sexually and have a better sex life, which is the dumbest freaking thing I have ever heard. So apparently her half-assed plan was for me to become a sex king while we were on a break and pass the benefits on to her while she would learn all kinds of new nasty things and bring them to me. She said that when our break was over and she came back to me, she realized that I didn't know what on a break meant and I thought we were broken up and that she had hurt me a lot. She realized this when she came to my place and saw that I had gotten rid of everything that had to do with her, gifts, photos, furniture, etc. She realized she had lost me and her world shattered. She was further hurt when I'd abandoned us, and it was so mentally damaging that she had to spend time in an institution. Afterwards, she moved to Europe to be a fashion model. I missed the European fashion model booth on career day at school. Maybe it was in the back between the rockstar booth and the billionaire playboy booth. She got involved in the party lifestyle there, never married, and returned to the USA after her last long-term fiancé broke it off with her. She moved in with her parents to help them because they're getting old and saw a photo of us in a box that she was moving and wanted to call me. This is what sent a chill down my spine. She said she wants to get together for a drink and to go over old times. She said she forgives me for abandoning us and moving on with my life without her. She says she still believes we are soulmates and that our story is not over. She wrote to me to please respond. Is there such a thing as eye sanitizer? I had already made an appointment with my son's psychiatrist. He has severe autism. I called up my dad because my mom died 8 months ago and he was mourning her. My older brother is also a widower and they are living together now. My dad is 91 and he was married to my mom for 71 years but knew her for 77 years. I mentioned about Julie and my dad perked up and I asked him about her. The crazy train not only derailed but flipped end over end to crash in the middle of Crazy Town. My dad said he didn't tell me about this because I was so adamant at the time for them to not mention anything about Julie to me at all. After I ghosted her, Julie showed up at my dad's house multiple times begging them to tell her where I was. Finally, she showed up and held a knife to her throat threatening to off herself if they didn't tell her. My dad restrained her and my mom called her parents to come pick her up and they later learned that she was put into a mental health facility. Our two families stopped communicating after that. So that part of her email was true at least. I talked with the psychiatrist and she said that my anger outburst is indicative of PTSD, which I had been diagnosed with years before just after I ghosted Julie. She said I pretty thoroughly cut Julie out of my life to the point where she only existed in my memories, and those faded over time. So when she contacted me, it all came rushing back. And yes, I feel embarrassed and pathetic for my dumb experience being compared to a combat veteran. She said Julie probably has some kind of cluster B disorder, which means, in her case at least, that she's the star of her own reality TV show and we are all supporting players who better stick to her script or else. I asked the psychiatrist if I should respond to Julie's email and she said no, that it would only add another page to the TV show script in her mind which would encourage her to do more. She recommended therapy with a therapist that specializes in PTSD and recommended one to me. I made an appointment with them. I asked my wife, my dad, and my brother if I should respond to Julie's email and they all agreed with the psychiatrist. My brother said I should reply to her email with one word, unsubscribe. The problem is that I have a unique last name. If you Google my first, middle, and last name you'll see that there are a handful of people in the USA with my name. I had asked a friend who's a deputy sheriff and he said you can't get a restraining order unless you're assaulted or are threatened with harm. Julie can find where I live with little effort, so I'm worried that if I don't at least email her to stay away that she'll track me down. Edit/mini update. I am not going to email her back. I have blocked her email and preemptively blocked her on all my other email addresses. Thanks for your advice in the comments. I got a picture from her Facebook profile, the public portion of it anyway. Taking into account that she probably uses only the best photos and probably uses filters and stuff like that, she's still very attractive for a 55-year-old woman. Botox and strategic plastic surgery are a wonderful thing, I guess. Too bad she's crazy AF. 2 of the photos were with a young woman with black hair and an olive complexion. The vibe I got from the photos is that the woman is her daughter. She has the same blue eyes. I gave the photo to my buddy who's a sheriff's deputy, he lives down the street, and to my wife, who got a little jealous. I assured her that she's better looking because she's younger and Asians just age better. Sorry if I'm coming off racist, and she looks as good as she does without having any work done. She's only maybe 10 pounds heavier than she was when we got married, and she came by that weight honestly by bearing my 3 children, which gives her an eternal pass in my book. My sheriff's deputy buddy said that we can get my address to be unlisted in public records because that's what law enforcement and politicians do so that people can't track them down at home. He said he'll list me as a volunteer with the sheriff's department if need be. I think I might have to talk to a lawyer about getting my public records privatized so she can't just search the property appraiser's website for my name and address. For me personally, I'm generally kind of pissed off that I have to live like some kind of mafia witness looking over my shoulder for a crazy person. It's freaking insane to me how people can F each other up beyond all recognition without even piercing the skin.